Is now specifically the best time to buy for CS2 investing? Well, first up, if we want to talk about our RMR results. First up, RMR Europe A has just went ahead and finished, and there's two teams inside of it that currently only have one borderless option. That's going to be Virtus Pro from Stockholm and Eternal Fire from Antwerp. Both of these, if we see a Copenhagen borderless sticker release, are no longer going to be a great option in my personal opinion because they're going to have competition. Now, there's also good news that comes along with this. We've got Koi, Saw, and Amcal, three brand new teams that do not have stickers in the game right now that are going to receive a sticker because of Copenhagen. Along with that, we've also got our Lance Sheds qualifier, which is going to include a bunch of brand new teams as well, and there's tons of different RMR events continuing to go on. We're not going to dive too deep into them because they haven't concluded, but in my personal opinion, I would definitely watch this area, but I don't think it's going to be a great idea to go ahead and invest into some of those teams that are right on the edge. Fnatic still has a chance to make it in, so I wouldn't be investing into any Fnatic borderless stickers in the current moment. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now, another area that's probably hot on your mind is going to be the Paris capsules and Paris stickers overall. Honestly speaking, it's in a very interesting situation because I'll be breaking it down completely honestly. If we see Copenhagen go ahead and release with a border around it, we're almost guaranteed to see a shoot up in price for Paris. It's what happened with Antwerp, it's what happens previously. I'm not saying it's 100% guaranteed, but the odds that it does not happen are extremely slim because we know this is a market based on a lot of hype. With that being said, if we see a borderless Copenhagen, it's probably not going to be a good time for Paris. A lot of these capsules are going to dip below that 25-cent price point, nearly guaranteed once again. Not 100% outright, but it's so unlikely that these capsules would be able to succeed, especially in the short term year, if we see Copenhagen come in as a direct competitor to these Paris capsules. We've also seen that a lot of the momentum and quick hype that it achieved from this previous update has kind of faded away. I honestly didn't expect it to stick around too long, but it has bumped up that price point. A lot of them were sitting at potentially 23-ish cents. Now we're looking at about 25, potentially 24 all across the board, which is very decent. In my honest opinion, I think we're just kind of waiting for Copenhagen to come out to see exactly what's going to happen with Paris. Therefore, I can honestly say I would not be 100% sure of investing into Paris right now. I think honestly, if you're there when Copenhagen drops, you have all that information. It's going to be extremely valuable because you could potentially pick up Paris then if you really wanted to do so. Now, talking about the rare case market, I am extremely convinced we're probably going to be seeing a massive growth spurt for a lot of this area, specifically when we start to see the people for Copenhagen start rolling in. Copenhagen is less than a month away. We're probably 2 to 3 weeks from getting our stickers specifically. When we look at the numbers for all of the data that support case numbers, case unboxings, where cases theoretically should be, we're really looking at a lot of undervalued cases in my personal opinion. A lot of the data shows a lot of these cases are in extremely high demand right now, and the price points that they're at is just not currently reflecting that. Obviously, you can make your own decision, and I highly encourage you to do so, but in my personal opinion, when we're looking at the rare cases, I see a huge amount of opportunity in this area that doesn't really contain a lot of risk. Honestly speaking, when we look at the 6 month or 1 year for a lot of these cases, we're not looking at a super cheap price point for a lot of the past. We're looking at one of the cheapest price points being right now, and I think that's honestly a very good incentive to start looking into this area if you have not already. Ton of profit to be made in this area, ton of profit already made. It's one of the best performing investments, and it's one of the safest if you don't know what exactly you want to go into. Now, we talked a little bit about it before, but honestly speaking, I don't think making any investment based off of what's going to happen with Copenhagen is a smart move in my personal opinion. We don't know exactly what Valve is going to bring out because remember, this is the first CS2 major. They could be bringing out something completely different. We already know that they're changing up the names of the stages. Are they going to change the capsules with that? We don't exactly know, and therefore there's so much uncertainty. I would say it's a lot more risky than the benefit really appears to be to go ahead and make an investment based off what we know right now. Now, one thing I think you should also keep your eyes on is a major game development. We saw this major update, we saw a lot of people flock into the game, and honestly, I don't think it's too naive to think that Valve might be trying to replicate that success with Copenhagen or potentially after it, and therefore keeping your eyes on that, having some money and some funds available so you could go ahead and buy potentially filler skins, buy investments at a little bit of a cheaper price point. So many things happen when an operation releases, and you need to be there to take advantage of that, but you need to also be prepared. You can't be quick selling off your items, taking a 13% fee and losing a ton of money there just to go ahead and buy things that are 20 cents cheaper. It's not going to make the most sense. You need to be prepared, and you need to be thinking about it before the actual time comes. Now, touching on some specific items, first up we have agents. Now, honestly, when we talk about agents, there's a big discrepancy between the Shattered Web agents and the Riptide and Broken Fang agents. The Riptide and Broken Fang agents didn't come out in a super mass amount just because you had to specifically choose them, whereas everyone got the Shattered Web agents. When we're talking about investments in general, we're only referring to the Riptide and the Broken Fang agents just because of the supply out there. With that being said, I don't think any agents right now are in a good position. A lot of them are heavily inflated, and therefore it just makes them a very very oversaturated area for investing in my personal opinion. Now, I'll be completely honest, investing into Stockholm and Antwerp right now is a really mixed bag for me, because obviously when we look at these capsules, we know they are rather safe. We know exactly what we expect to happen with them, and theoretically they're probably going to continue on a pretty normal track for the near future. With that being said, we can also see exactly what happened when Paris released. We thought these capsules were in a very stable moment. They seemed like they had been stable. Obviously they pumped up a little bit beforehand and that made them quite unstable, but we thought they were at least somewhat stable, and then they went ahead and lost a majority of their value overnight because Paris released. Therefore, if we're talking about Stockholm and Antwerp, I would at least be a little bit hesitant investing into them in this current moment, just in case we do see a borderless Copenhagen. I don't think they're going to be impacted super significantly, but at the end of the day, it's very possible we could see another slight pullback from them, and therefore investing now really wouldn't be the most opportune time. We know the supply, we know the demand that these capsules and these stickers hold, and therefore long term, I don't think they're going to be in any dire situation, but in the short term right here, I would definitely be at least a slight bit cautious. Now, one area I can honestly say I don't have too much concern about is going to be the Playskin market. That's because the Playskin market, honestly speaking, has not been doing specifically well over the past couple of months. We can look at it, we saw a decreasing trend for a while, and we've just seen a level out at the current prices that we're at right now, which honestly speaking is a very good thing if you're looking to get into the Playskin market. Now, Playskins are not traditionally investments. These are more things that you're going to want to have, and they just kind of accrue some value over time because the demand for them goes up, and usually the supply is not increasing anywhere close to the demand. I would say if you want to go ahead and pick up some Playskins, do so. Not everything in your inventory has to be an investment. Playskins are a perfect opportunity to go ahead and gain a little value, but also enjoy the game. At the end of the day, this is a game, and if you think the player count's going to go up, you think people with money are going to be heading into the game, it's a great opportunity to go ahead and make a little bit extra capital off of that situation. Now, when you take a look at the market right now, and specifically looking at Souvenir Packages from Paris, it might seem like they're an absolute steal, and the truth is they're not. That's because Souvenir Packages tend to be one of the worst investments you can make. We can look at the Just 2 Souvenir Package, one of the best performing post actual change of the Souvenir Package loadout, and we can see that they have just traditionally performed maybe slightly above average. I mean, they haven't done anything spectacular. Look at the normal Souvenir Packages. They have performed absolutely atrocious. Most of them for Paris are down below $3, which is absolutely pitiful, and honestly, when we're talking about Souvenir Packages in any capacity, especially the newer versions of them, they are a terrible investment. Completely avoid them and don't pick up any as an investment. Lastly, then we have operation items. Now, I'm not 100% sure I would be buying operation items just because of the timeliness of everything else. I think there's a lot better opportunities elsewhere, but operation items are usually a pretty safe investment, especially in the current moment. As long as they've got decent demand and the supply is capped, usually it's hard to lose as long as you know what you're investing into is a smart decision. Now, what should you do right now? Well, honestly speaking, I think buying right now is in a very potentially great situation, but you don't have to buy right now. And that's the biggest emphasis I want to get across, is you should be buying right now because you specifically want something, not because you feel forced into the market. Right now, there should be zero FOMO in the market. It should just be planning and waiting. And I think that's exactly what most of you guys are doing. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.